And at first, I will admit I was a little bit resistant to it. And y'all really helped me understand that it's okay to not have the brand be broad, that I'll still get the market elsewhere, but I can narrow down the focus and the look to be recognizable for where my smallest, most ideal niche, I guess, in a lot of ways is.
Welcome to Be Bold Branding, where we discuss the power of differentiating yourself through your own unique story and standout personal brand. What goals do you have when creating your personal brand? Well, today we're talking with Caitlyn McBee. She's actually a client of ours who came to us with some very specific goals. Today she's going to share those goals. She'll share her story and her personal branding journey with us.
Welcome to Be Bold Branding, Caitlyn.
Hi, thank y'all. I'm glad to be here.
We're so glad to have you. So tell everybody where you're from, first of all.
I am in the suburbs of Houston on the south side. I live in Friendswood, and I serve Friendswood all the way down to Galveston Island.
Okay. And when she says she serves that area, guys, Caitlyn is actually a real estate professional. And we're going to learn all about her brand today. Let's start with this. Tell us how and why you got into real estate in the first place.
Okay, so that's kind of a long story, but the short of it is I bought my first house when I was 18 in college. Growing up, I remember many a times my mom was kind of nomadic and moved a lot. So I remember growing up and going with her. As life moved me forward after college, I taught for a couple of years and realized that was not really my full calling, and got into real estate at that time. It kind of was just a natural fit for me, and I've been selling since 2006.
So you kind of fell into it, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. For a couple of reasons. Number one, you're a lifer like me. And number two, you survived the debacle. And a lot of people that we work with these days, they don't know what we went through back then, you know?
Oh, no kidding. No kidding. 06 was a rough year to get in because it was right as we were doing that, making that curve. I was in the Austin market area at the time, Bastrop, to be specific. And so it was a huge shift to start a business in.
Yeah.
But you prevailed for sure, which is awesome. So you're a testament to the great industry of real estate and that it actually does work. And, especially when you can go through what you've been through.
Exactly.
Hey, let's get into the BrandFace program just a little bit. Why did you decide to come into the BrandFace program?
So I was at a point where I'd never had fully developed a brand for myself. I dabbled with it pre-Canva, pre-having any of that. I knew I needed something. I wanted something that stood out, that was me, that represented, that I could, honestly, something I could put on a shirt, could put on a water bottle, on a logo, anywhere that was my logo. And I knew that was important to have that secondary association where it wasn't just always my face, and even just my name. And as I researched, I found y'all, and just liked the look of what I saw and the completeness of the product that y'all provided, and how it wasn't just a logo. It wasn't just a word or a quote. It was the whole concept that could be used at multiple levels.
Yeah, I think you just identified us,
yes,
Caitlyn.
Very well. Thank you.
It was the comprehensive approach, really. It's like, we like to say a brand is like an entire ecosystem. It's not, as you so eloquently put it, it's not just a logo. It's not just a photo. It's an entire ecosystem. But you don't always know that, until you go through the process. So when you first came in, was there anything specific that you were kind of like timid about or afraid of?
Oh, all of it. I think initially and I'm still working on it. I was terrified of doing the photo shoot. For whatever reason, it just is not my natural thing. I was apprehensive about it being too not broad enough. And y'all really helped me understand that it's okay to not have the brand be broad, that I'll still get the market elsewhere, but I can narrow down the focus and the look to be recognizable for where my smallest, most ideal niche, I guess, in a lot of ways is. And that worked. It's worked well.
Good. Very
Excellent.
good. Well, you've worked the program too. And, it's like so many things you get out of it, what you put into it. So, well, let's talk about your brand then. Tell everybody what your brand identifier is and how that fits you well.
So the brand identifier we landed on for me was lifestyle locator. And at first I will admit I was a little bit resistant to it. I was like, oh, I don't know that that's me. But as Tanya and I talked more and the team talked, I realized that's perfect. That's perfect. I live in the suburbs of Houston, but I sell a lifestyle down on the water. We've got a lot of waterfront property. Even the subdivisions and the area I live in is a lifestyle that people want to be in, and you choose to live where you do outside of the Houston market because of that. And so it really, once we talked more about it, I was like, yeah, that definitely fits.
Yeah.
Well,
let's talk a moment about like some of the goals you had coming into the program, because you had kind of, on the surface, at least it seemed to you that it was a little bit of a complex situation. You live in one area, but in the future, you wanted to kind of morph into being known for a little bit more than that. Tell us a little bit about what you were looking to achieve.
Right. So I live in a suburb of Houston. We live in Friendswood. We have League City. We have several cities that come together that make up the general mainland area. But my husband and our 5-year plan is to be on the water. Simple as can be. Whether we're on the bay or the beach, we haven't decided. But down the road, our end goal is to be in Galveston on the island full time, living kind of that semi-retired island lifestyle. As well. And so I love selling down there as a second home community and vacation home. And I wanted something where I was not, limiting myself to just the suburb market or just the waterfront market. I wanted to be able to cover both in one fell swoop.
Yep. And I'd like to step in just a moment and say why Lifestyle Locator really helps you in both of those areas is because it's about your customer's lifestyle, letting them kind of fill in the blanks, right? Because the Lifestyle Locator, you can help them locate a lifestyle in the suburbs around just the right schools that they want to be associated with. And then also you can help them locate something along the waterfront, properties or waterside, something along those lines. And both of those you're knowledgeable about because you have places in both of those locations. And so you can speak to the knowledge and the expertise of those areas and allow your client to find the best lifestyle that fits them. So that's kind of when you came into it, you said, I don't know if we can accomplish this. Is this possible? And we said, absolutely it is, because we're going to find just the right thing that straddles the fence there. Right. And that's what I think worked really, really well for you.
Definitely.
Yeah. So what was the easiest part about the branding process for you, Caitlyn? You mentioned the hardest part already.
Yeah, but the photography. No, I think just embracing the brand. Once we established it, it has been super easy for me to embrace, to see and visualize. I am comfortable with it. I've taken it to the point that I have, I know you've seen this before, I think, Tanya, but I have the logo on my phone. I have it on my water bottle. I have t-shirts. Like I have grabbed it and stuck it every place that fits and is appropriate. And I really, I enjoy, like, that's my go-to there. Once we established branding, my wardrobe has changed just to match my colors even.
Oh, that's great. That's great to hear. Like Tanya just said, we call that breathing your brand, like living it every day. It should be like a suit you put on every day. And when it comes naturally, then it's just that much. You just naturally sell it. It naturally sells itself. It really makes a difference. Let me ask you this. Do you think that your brand makes you feel bolder in your career?
Yeah, in some extent, because my colors are bold. My logo has a distinct look, and when you're walking around wearing orange and turquoise, those are pretty bold colors, not just black or white. Definitely kind of makes you stand out. Makes it noticeable.
Right.
Good.
And I remember your story too, Caitlyn. How hard or easy was it to share your story, which is, basically how you grew up and why you're kind of headed down this direction?
So the questionnaire and the process, at first I was like, I don't have a good story. I thought I was just any old Joe, I guess you could say, or Sue. And, as I went through the questions and I was writing them down, I'm like, there's nothing here. There's no meat to this. And honestly, Tanya, you gave me the confidence that my story does have meat and there's something more to it. It's not as typical as I always perceived it being. You extracted a lot. You extracted the fact that I come from multiple generations of strong females and, was more or less raised by a single mom. And, my grandmothers were huge roles in my life and doing and getting and accomplishing where I am.
And they all have master's degrees.
Yes.
All of those amazing women in your generational life.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I want to say something about this part of it. A lot of people come into our program and think, well, I don't really have this story that's, sensationalized story or anything that really helps me stand out from everybody else. But we disagree because we know that every single person has a unique story. And for you and for millions like you, it's just hard to see the label when you're inside the jar.
Yep.
Yeah.
But trust me, that jar shines bright. It's like a jar full of fireflies, right?
Yeah.
You just don't see it.
Yeah, and it's a testament to people's humility, I believe, because they're like, I don't have anything to offer. Like, I just, my life's not special in this way or that way. But then when you go to dig, everybody has that glimmer of special. Like, everybody has something. And then when you can apply that to your brand and then show that, illuminate that for the rest of the world, then it's amazingly attractive. Because especially in business, and we were at a convention talking about this last weekend, especially in real estate where they think that they've got to put on some kind of facade rather than being real. And really what our clients need is us real, and they need us, but they need us a certain amount of vulnerable. So they're not just working with a robot. They're actually working with somebody that has expertise like you do, and probably have some other personal traits that they relate to also. And it just, makes that transactions that much easier and attracts the people you want to work with, not necessarily just the every Joe Schmo that can afford to buy a house. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Really cool to dial it in, and you've been great at it. You've been great. We'd like to ask you, we ask 5 questions especially when people have been through our program, because we know they know the answer. And, but we like to ask the 5 important questions that every great personal brand has to answer to be good. Are you ready to answer those questions today?
I think so. It's a test.
I know.
We know you are.
Well, we do it Jay Leno style, so we do it 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And so I'll ask the 5th question first. Who do you serve? Who are your ideal customers?
Growing families, those changing, whether they're getting bigger, getting smaller, empty nesters, and locating to new markets.
Perfect.
Fantastic.
All right. Number 4, exactly how do you serve them?
That's a good one. Well, I specialize in vacation homes. I specialize in waterfront property, and I also focus on their lifestyle, looking at what they need and what is the best fit for them and where they want to be.
Number 3, what qualifies you to serve them?
So I'm a global luxury specialist. I have 16 years of experience. I'm a broker. I specialize in second home properties, and I'm a past president of Bastrop County Board, where I first got my license.
That's quite a lineup.
It really is.
All right. Number 2, how does that make your customers' life better?
I really allow them to help guide them to maximize their lifestyle within their budget. Not everybody has the same dream home. And when you recognize that and realize that, 1,200 square feet or 2,500 or 5,000 square feet isn't for everybody, it's locating what's their lifestyle dream.
And I love the way you say that, maximizing their lifestyle, right? Because isn't that what everybody wants? It's like, give me the most for my money, right? Really. And there are a lot of people who just don't think of it that way. They just think of matching the parameters, but you look a little bit deeper than that, which is what I love.
Yeah. Because it's not all the same. Like Tanya and I, we don't want a 10,000 square foot home. We want 10 1,000 square foot homes because we don't like cleaning them.
And we like visiting all different parts of the world.
Yeah, we like to see different things, and we don't want to just pour it all into one spot. It doesn't mean somebody's wrong if they want to pour it into one spot. It's just everybody, like you said, it's so eloquently put. Everybody's different about what they want.
Just because you can afford it doesn't mean it's the right property for you. It's really finding what the lifestyle is that you're looking for in that property.
I love it. That's so true. All right. And number one, the drum roll question is, what sets you apart from others in your industry, from all the other real estate agents in your area?
I am the lifestyle locator. Simple and easy.
I love it.
I love that. And that says a lot, right? In just 2 words. And of course, 2 words are never going to sum up an entire brand. As we teach you guys, a brand is an ecosystem. It's made up of your story, of everything visually and message wise that supports that story. But lifestyle locator is a doggone good start, right? It's a great start because that says in 2 words pretty much what you do, and the rest of it is just enhancement of the brand.
Yep,
for sure.
The rest of it is all that good experience that you've got. And again, going back to where we started in the beginning, you are a survivor, man. You survived the Great Recession, and now like these days, I have to throw this in because we're having constant conversations about what is the real estate market doing across the country, right? And what it's doing in your area. It's the same as it's doing in our area. We might see a touch of a slowdown because of the sticker shock of how the pricing changes every month with an increased interest rate, but we are not seeing a slowdown in demand. It's these people need housing, and they're still active about it. So, I know that's the case where you're at too.
Exactly. So, Caitlyn, if you had to tell somebody, the importance of a personal brand, right? What would you say to somebody when it comes to building their personal brand? What's one good bit of advice you'd give them?
Believe in your brand and live your brand. Once you've established it, believe in it and live it and go with it.
Thank you for that.
Yep.
because there are a lot of people who build this beautiful brand, but they don't breathe it every day. They don't live it. And as we like to say, that's kind of like setting up for this elaborate party in this awesome convention hall. And it looks really beautiful, but you forget to send out the invitations.
And nobody knows you're there.
Yeah, no one knows. So using it every day, that's how your brand is built, right? That's how your brand grows. You build the brand in 6 to 8 weeks, right? But then you grow it over time with every single impression. It's not about taking 10 years for a brand to grow to the height that you want it to grow to. It's about taking every opportunity and impression to make it grow. And hats off to you for doing that, Caitlyn. And thank you for coming on Be Bold today. We appreciate it.
Thank y'all. I appreciate it.
Yes, you've been a joy to work with, and you've got a fantastic brand, and of course you're part of the BrandFace family forever. So nobody ever checks out. We don't let them leave.
Like Hotel California around here.
Thank y'all.
You bet. Thanks, Caitlyn.
Yep. Hey guys, Caitlyn knows because I say this so many times on our Wednesday webinars, and we were doing them. They, it's about prosperity. And when we say prosperity at BrandFace, we're not just talking about money. We're talking about a true 360 of an abundant life we wish for all of y'all. And we know at BrandFace that prosperity favors the bold. So we say, be bold, folks, especially with your brand, just like Miss Caitlyn right here. Thank you, ma'am. And thank you, Miss Tanya.
All right, over and out. We'll see you next time on Be Bold Branding.
Brought to you by BrandFace, the only comprehensive personal brand building system across the globe.